when you get to be yourself with the unconditional love and compersion that comes from having mindfulness in the forefront, flaws, and integrity, you are going to know a very different type of love story overall. So we all get to go through our different ages, right? I'm 44. As I got to get older, I got to keep on walking a walk and talking a talk with the 5D Christ Consciousness Collective. And that's because for me, I began with it and I continue with it. Others will have joined it, and everyone has a different journey. But to give you the gist of what this episode is going to be about, expanding states of consciousness, we have compersion for all people. It means we want to see them happy, not unhappy. And that's polyamory and monoamory alike. So whether you treat me with respect or not, I will not be projecting that I will wish upon to you what you will have brought to me. I will not. I will wish upon to you nothing except for hopefully joy and happiness. And if ever the time comes that you and I may have a nice, friendly, and enriching interaction. So this is what a person will want when they are empowered. They will not want that somebody goes through suffering. They will not want to see this karma business or what others talk about, divine justice. Okay, that is not a person who is embodying the expanding consciousness of a self-empowered, enlightened, 5D mystic or mindful person. Okay, so you don't have to be spiritual, but I'm trying to present to you it's a person who has compersion, polyamory, or monoamory. It's not hard. It's a conscious awareness choice that you make as you process emotions that arise and thoughts that arise, and that you get to have situations. It's also because you truly love versus I want you to give me a sense of security. Because the people who will have felt wronged, the feeling comes from you didn't give me something that I wanted. It can have been a safe haven experience. So I wanted to be reassured and hugged and told it was going to be okay. You didn't give that to me. Or a secure base. I wanted to interact with you to share common interests. I'm just going to bring it to you this simplified because that's how simple it is when you're a person who loves yourself first. You love others equally, and so you would never wish upon yourself suffering. You will always wish upon yourself learning, expanding. If you wish upon yourself suffering, well, then that tells me therapy is a good idea because that will tell me that you think that you deserve to be suffering, which automatically is a core belief that equals unlovability, equals shame, equals trauma, equals something. You can get help. It's as straightforward as it gets. We don't need people to be telling each other they don't have an opportunity. They do have an opportunity. It is, as Dr. Daniel Fox in one of his recent episodes, he says, it's unfortunate business because some people, they quit too soon and or they give up. And he said, did you notice I didn't say fail? And he's a personality disorder expert. And he said, because you can't fail as long as you keep working to get help to get better. And he works with narcissists and borderline personality lenses and sociopaths and the psychopath. All of the good therapists have all answers for every single one of the people who will want to go get healed. They have a way, and that's where you will find the 5D collective coming together, mystics and not, because the truth is that I do self-help for when you're ready for more, but in the meantime, I make you aware of the opportunity that we all have to support healing trauma seriously. And so compersion for me is easy. I didn't even know the word with my teenage boyfriend, with all my friends, with people. That doesn't mean I'm oblivious to when people will have brought that Cusco behavior, but Cusco means that you are unaware of yourself to the extent of being a Cusco. I have nothing to do except for hope that you may find what you are looking for and hopefully a good therapist so you can get into being a pacha, so that you can become mindful and at some point live bliss in your body. So my hope for people is that they get their whole self on board so that they can engage in human love narrative versus human suffering. So that's part of what I was getting to. And then the other equation is when people want to have bystanders take their side because they want to feel that their desire to have vindication is something right, meaning justified, meaning they want to be reassured that it's okay to be happy, to know that somebody else is not doing well and that somebody else is paying their karma or whatever. That one is very sad on a lot of ends of the scale, because what a person who is wanting to live life to their maximum potential could be doing, instead of seeking for someone to rejoice with them, they could be noticing that about themselves and then have a unconditionally loving conversation, which would be, I'm not good, I'm not bad, I'm not mean, I'm feeling this way because of the events that took place, and I'm feeling validated. The emotion doesn't need to be charged. In fact, what I can bring into my heart is love and forgiveness, and then hope that those people that are involved in this find a way to become better at being a human versus stay in whatever it is that they're building. Because again, if people are hurting people, it's not because they want to, it's because they're not going to get that good therapy, because they're not taking any of that seriously, or because they're following the crowd of the lack of education people who think that personality disorders are not healable, which is not true. They are. That people can change, although we have a basic foundation, yes, and that those who have maladaptive child patterns of behaviors is really challenging, yes. So is the adaptive child pattern of behaviors. And because the adaptive child doesn't have as much, if you will, going on, they tend to navigate like Cusco all the way till the middle of the Emperor's New Groove and never get to the end, where they figure out that they have been basically wrong, as they are spiting people out of, upset emotions and vengeance and that unhealed trauma stuff from their own stuff. So projecting their trauma, trust breaks. And this reminds me of some stories that Sadhguru shares, one of which is this, I forget the name of the specific, is it deity? They all embody what I have learned from trauma therapists. So as you end in these stories, they close out their shame cycle and they heal it, but they never come back, which is what I've always noticed about these stories within the yoga and yogic from Sadhguru, which is why it's only half of the story of a person, because it's once you're out of your false sense of self and out of shame and blame and fault and revenge, so it's once you're out of the trauma charges that you are in fact ready to be yourself, because you have integration of the brain, you have the capacity to love, to be mindfully aware, and to be a full piece of consciousness. So this is where when you hear about Krishna Lila to me is the embodiment of a person who has an integrated brain, or restored embodiment self, and can be compassionate always, because you explore the depths of seriousness with playfulness. And the Zen master, for example, doesn't know how to do that with his laundry and with life. I know how to do that. And I always know how to do that. That doesn't mean that I don't have low days. But even when I have those low days, I will know how in those moments to work with myself, allow what wants to come. And sometimes that involves not speaking. Just, it's here. And the herd of mine is the best that helps me. One of the moments, I was my younger sister, as I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. Am I hormonal? Doesn't matter, Maria, just let it out, and she's like guiding me to breathe, and I'm breathing, and as I take in my belly breath, I just start crying, and I don't know where it came from. No, nothing happened, no dreams, no clairs, none of it, and then as she again said, and sometimes that's the point, nothing to think about, motion coming out, that's it. So that's part of what healing is. But see, I'm a happy person. Every day I wake up, I'm happy. I'm not negating my other emotions, so I'll allow myself to be vulnerable. That's your cue. When I see people, they're not growing more energized, more happy, it's because they're not learning to use their social engagement system. And that's sad because they could be, but they're not doing any of the mindful living like the Zen master. He could do more of it. He doesn't. And it's in the moments of when he is judging, by the way, human suffering or something, because he's the one who's in the seat of feeling emotions as something that are laundry versus knowing that they are the normality. Like I said, my herd members, especially the good ones, they'll know how to say, just let it come. Let's hug it out and let's let it be here. It's with us and we have fun. We play with it, meaning we don't judge it. And that's why my younger sister, she's really good at that. So she's always able to be chillaxed and not judgmental. And she's a big empath in that way. And so you're going to know who your safe haven people are. And they're also secure base. And when you love to love, you're not going to ever want anyone to be suffering because it's not nice. I don't want the Zen master to have laundry, but he doesn't want to do more mindfulness. What are we going to do? We can't do anything. So when people want to get confirmation for wishing not beautiful things to others, I just think it's a sad story because they could do something which is not crap on their self, not look at it as good or bad, but understand what's going on and then bring their own self to it's okay, I won't judge this, but I also will not wish or smirk at that. I will say, I know why I'm feeling this way, and I want myself to know that it's okay. I won't judge it, but I also want to wish kind intentions and healing and peace and joy, and that person doesn't have the negative life. So you can allow yourself to know why you will feel a way, but then want the well-being of someone. That's a forgiving, functional adult. That's an unconditionally loving person. And it doesn't mean you believe in Jesus or God or any of that. It's your mindful opportunity with a prefrontal cortex, and it's your humanity and the sciences that prove that no person chose to have trauma. We are all born with a generous heart. And when you watch how people will have gotten their life taken out of them because of trauma, you won't want any person to be suffering. You will want all of them to heal, which is by. Have a good one.